Hello. So this is my week 7 video. I am going to leave in like 30 minutes for the airport to go to Chicago for 5 days, and I'm stressed because not anything surgery related. They've canceled 2 flights before mine. The 2 o'clock flight was delayed 2 hours. So I'm a little bit worried that my flight is going to get canceled. So I'm like furiously packing and then checking the United website every 10 minutes, but whatever. This will be a really quick video. So my weight last week was 244.4. For 6 days, I weighed 244.4, was not moving. And then today I woke up and got on the scale and I was 242.4. Okay. So that's a 2-pound loss for this week, which rocks. And I am up to 47.6 pounds lost. Yay! It also, I don't know, one of the things I was thinking about is like how crazy goal setting is with gastric bypass, because initially I was like, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds by the new year. It would be so cool to enter the new year 50 pounds down in the 230s. That'd be so great. And then I was losing pretty big numbers and I was like, maybe I could get to the 230s by Christmas. And then I hit a week where for 6 days I don't lose anything. So my goal still for next week, it would be awesome, awesome, awesome to be down this last 2.4 and to hit 50 pounds lost. You know, in less than 2 months, that would be great. I'd be so happy about that. So many things to think about. Sorry, I'm like so scattered today. I'm just kind of freaking out about my flight. But the big thing is that yesterday was the first day that I threw up at work, which was a major drag, and actually wound up coming home from work a little bit early. And it just blows, like honestly. I had a Smart One quesadilla with chicken in it, and the day before I'd had a half of one. They're pretty high in protein. They're like 16 grams each, 220 calories for the whole thing, and I get about half. So I'd had it for the first time on Sunday because I don't like to try new food while I'm at work, and it went down really well, and it was just delicious. Like, I don't know, there's like a little bit of a chew to it, you know. I've been craving a sandwich like you would not believe. Not even anything unhealthy. I haven't been craving ice cream or cheesesteaks or anything like that. I want like a turkey sandwich. I want that bread, you know what I mean? That crunch and that chew and that whatever. That my tuna salad with a cracker or, you know, my chili has not really been providing. So the quesadilla I was psyched about. And then I brought the other half for lunch yesterday, and I had half of that, so just a quarter, and pretty quickly felt pretty bad. And went into the bathroom, and I started throwing up at 2, and I threw up until 5. And finally I was like, gotta go home. Because basically I would go to the bathroom, be in there for 10 minutes. I think I threw up 5 times total. Sorry, this is so graphic. But I mean, I don't know. For me, it's like, I know some people are like, oh yeah, I threw up a bit in the beginning, but now I'm fine. It's like, in that moment of throwing up, it's hard to remember that that's a small piece of the whole thing. Like, in that moment, I was like, what did I do to myself that I can't eat 3 bites of a quesadilla without throwing up? Not just like, oh, throwing up and then it's done, but throwing up for hours, like hours and hours and hours. And basically when I wasn't throwing up, I was sitting at my desk, totally unable to focus, trying not to lose the fight against nausea. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this will be the last time I throw up. Nope, back to the bathroom. So finally I just told my boss, oh, you know, I'm pretty sick. I need to go home, and came home, and then, you know, needed to stay at work long enough that I could get on the subway to come home without being sick. So I was there until 5:30. Finally came home and felt fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, once it's done, it's done. And then I went shopping, you know, for the last Christmas gifts and that kind of thing. Was walking around, and I had soup for lunch, which is totally my go-to, never been sick from. Love it, love it, love it soup. I don't have it here, I don't think, but for Christmas, my girlfriend got me a whole cookbook on Deborah Madsen, who I really love her recipes of soups, vegetable soups. So I don't know, it's it'll be a balancing act trying to slip in more protein into those when we can, but tons of black bean and white bean recipes, and I love bacon in soups. I'm just going to add bacon or ground turkey where I can, where it makes sense with the recipe. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yesterday night, my girlfriend had asked, when I was like, oh, this was like, you know, just pretty miserable. Like, I don't mind for some reason being sick at home because I don't care who hears me retching, and I don't, it's 3 feet between my bed and the toilet, and it's just like home. Like, whatever, no one's watching, be sick, get over it. But at work, it was just like, just miserable, And so she asked me last night, not if I regretted the surgery, but somehow that came up. And it's hard because on the one hand, it's like I'm down 47 pounds. And not just I'm fitting in my clothes better and I'm in smaller sizes, but I feel more human. Like, whatever, I hate to say that because I know that it reveals how upset I was with myself when I was at 290. But I do feel more human. Like, I feel like when I am introduced to someone, in my mind, the first thing that they're not thinking of anymore is, oh my God, she's so big. Which used to be what I thought people thought when they saw me. Like, and I don't necessarily think that anymore. Or I hope they don't think that anymore. And so there's that whole side of it. And then there's also the side of, I saw my PCP and she took me off of my metformin, so I'm 1 prescription less. And, she is just really excited about my cholesterol levels, things like that obviously are really great. So those things seem really huge. What I will say on the negative side is that 2 things. One, I did not realize, and I really try to be positive, and I think all of this is worth it, but just to put it out there and be real with it too, I didn't realize that it would be such a slow transition in terms of eating normal foods. Like, reading the dietitian stuff that I had to do before, listening to people's videos, it was like, okay, a month of like puree food and soft food, and that's weird and whatever. That actually wound up not being the worst part of it. And I was like, oh, and then, you're back to regular food. Well, you're back to regular food, I mean, it's only been 3 weeks, but I feel like this could take 6 months before I know what I can eat and what I can't eat, and what I can eat is finally okay with my body. Like, I'm sure I'm going to be able to eat these Smart Ones quesadillas eventually. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll wait 2 more weeks, then I'll try it again. But I don't know. That is a really slow process, which I maybe wasn't totally aware of or willing to accept when I was going into the surgery. And then the other thing, which, again, not to be negative, but I just want to put it out there, is that I feel like I heard a lot when I was looking around before I did the surgery of like, oh, eventually you'll be able to eat whatever you want, just in small portions. And I'm going to kind of say that's not true. I mean, obviously, eventually, a year from now, I can have, I had a bite of chocolate pudding one day. I will be able to have a bite of pizza or like whatever. But pretty much, I mean, and this also obviously goes hand in hand with just losing weight. Like, I can't expect to be eating pizza and Ben & Jerry's and losing weight or being healthy even, no matter what size I am. So I understand that, but the whole shift towards eating healthier is even a lot more, you have to be a lot more aware of it, I think, than if you were just dieting, because you only have a limited amount of food that you can pack your nutrients into. So, getting 60 grams of protein a day, I go out to brunch and I look at the menu, and it's not like, oh, I can have anything I want, because there's only, oh, hold on one second.